Hi guys, so I just thought that I'd do a really quick first impressions video because I've just watched the first episode of Grace and Frankie, which is the new Netflix original show, and since I've only watched one episode I thought that it would be perfect timing to come on and have a quick chat about it. So if you haven't heard of Grace and Frankie yet, as I said, it is the new Netflix original show and it's been created by Marta Kaufman, who is one of the creators of Friends, brilliant iconic show, and Howard J. Morris. I saw the trailer for this about a week ago and I thought that it looked really interesting, so I was really excited to sit down and watch the first episode. The show basically tells the story of two women who are in their 70s who go out for dinner with their husbands who are partners in a law firm, who have been partners in the law firm together for about 40 years. You can tell from the off that these two women have never exactly got on particularly well, but it's been one of those situations where they've been forced to spend time together over the years because their husbands work together and their husbands are friends. And they sit down for this dinner, which has been called by their husbands, and are basically told that their husbands are gay and have fallen in love with each other. They have been seeing each other secretly for the past 20 years and they are basically leaving their wives to be together. So I thought that this sounded like such an interesting concept for a show, and so I was really looking forward to watching it. It has an incredible cast. It has Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Sam Waterston, Martin Sheen and a lot of other really good actors. So from that perspective I was quite excited to see it. From the Marta Kaufman perspective I was interested to see it because obviously Friends is one of my favourite shows of all time. And what just really struck me about this was that it's the first time in quite a long time that I've seen a new show on something like Netflix that's been a brand new show that is starring an older cast and is focused very much on a kind of older generation. Obviously lately there's been quite a lot of talk within the film and television industry about roles for older people, but particularly roles for older women. There was that whole debate recently between Russell Crowe and Meryl Streep about what roles are really available for older women. I think there's a lot of interesting discussion going on about what the roles are for women in general in film and television, so what parts are being written for women that are more interesting than just the I'm a young woman who's fallen in love with this man type story. So I think that that's a really interesting debate in and of itself, but what in particular has been interesting lately is the focus on what the roles that are available for older women are and whether or not fresh, new, interesting characters are being written for women over a certain age. So that in particular is what really drew me to this, because it felt like it was a show that is writing characters for women that are going to be really interesting and a little bit different to all the other female roles that you see on TV just now. So I was hopeful that I was going to enjoy it, and I really did. So far I have only seen the first episode. I'm not going to give too much away because I want to keep this relatively spoiler free. Everything that I have told you so far about the storyline is essentially in the trailer, so that's not really spoiling anything. So I won't say anything too much about the actual content of the rest of the show, but what I will say is that I think that the characters of Grace and Frankie in and of themselves are really well written. Their reactions to the situation that they find themselves in are very different. One is very angry about it, one is very sad about it, and so I think that that provides a really interesting kind of clash of personalities. As I said, from the very off we can tell that there's a bit of tension between them and that they've not exactly always got on particularly well, but they've now been thrown into this situation with each other that they never saw coming and they weren't prepared for, and they're, you know, they're in their 70s and they're now suddenly discovering that they're being left by themselves and their husbands are not going to be there for them anymore, and it's a whole new world for them. I think that the premise of this show is very interesting for a lot of reasons, but one of the things that I've particularly liked about it is this idea that any time in your life can be the start of a new chapter and that you should always make the most of your life and do what makes you happy. So what we see in these early scenes when Robert and Saul, who are the two husbands, confess what's been going on between them is that they're saying, we're getting older now and we really just want to be happy for the rest of our lives, and this is what's going to make us happy. So as dramatic and life-changing as it is, we're going to do it and we're going to be together. And that obviously is a massive shock to the system for Grace and for Frankie. But I think in terms of the possibilities for the rest of the season for these two women who are now in a totally different situation to anything they've ever been in before, it's an opportunity for them to rediscover themselves, rediscover their lives and their passions and their friendships. And I think that I'm really excited about it actually. I've read a couple of reviews where people have basically said that they feel that the chemistry between the actors is fantastic, but the actual show itself isn't quite up to scratch. I haven't felt that so far, but as I say, I have only watched the first episode, so I'm going to go and watch the rest of it. Not right now, but I'm going to watch the rest of it. There are 13 episodes in this first season, which are all now available to view on Netflix, so I will watch it over the next week or so, and once I have seen it all, I'll probably sit down and do a fully informed review. So if you have watched the first episode of the show, I would love to know what you think of it. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed it, what your favourite things about it were, what things you maybe didn't like quite so much. So I'm just going to leave it there because, as I say, I don't want to say too much in case I spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. So go and have a look and then come back and let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I hope that you're having a lovely day. I have lots of other videos planned for the next week or so, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the upcoming film and TV chats that I have planned. And if you enjoyed this video, I would be really thrilled if you gave it a thumbs up. So thanks so much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! It's not one of these books that's only for film and TV scholars to read. This is a book for fans of Veronica Mars, and I can tell you, I have sat and devoured these essays and got so excited.